to the Portland Horror Podcast Massacre, a roundtable discussion on the topics of the horror genre from the perspective of three very different horror nerds. Welcome to episode 6. My name is Willie Greer, and I am joined tonight by my two sexy co-hosts,
Jeff Dean,
Heather Alexander.
And we're coming to you from Portland, Oregon. And tonight we are doing one of our triple feature discussions. Tonight's category is queer horror. Happy Pride, everybody. But first, we're going to kick things off with a brief discussion of the movies that we've seen recently. Who wants to go first?
Let's go ahead and start a little bit and talk about the Portland Horror Film Festival that happened last week here in town. Heather, Willie, and I were there on Thursday night for Grind, a anthology film directed by Brea Grant and Ed Doherty, and also the 45th anniversary screening of My Bloody Valentine.
Mm-hmm. With a Q&A with the director after.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the first feature that we saw. Grind.
What a grind it was to get through it.
Yeah, basically it's an interconnected anthology about the horrors of being a minion to the corporate overlords. The 4 stories in this anthology. I liked the first one and the last one. The 2 ones in the middle kind of just drove me a little bit. They're just too long, is the problem. And I really thought the anthology itself was one segment too long. I think I leaned over to you at one point and kind of said, like, is this almost over? It feels like
short movie feels like it's 3 hours.
Yeah. So that was my kind of takeaway. It was just mediocre at best.
Yeah, Willie and I missed the middle because it was a little triggering, to say the least, in terms of, experiences at work and such. So we went outside for a smoke and missed a bit of the middle part of that.
Philosophically, I just couldn't, I'm okay with being triggered if I feel like there's an end point that'll be somewhat satisfying, and that, it doesn't have to mean a happy ending, of course, as these are horror movies. I just kind of felt like the movie wasn't necessarily saying anything that I didn't already know very, very well, and I wasn't really interested in how it was saying it. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I wasn't intrigued. It just gave me a bit of an ick factor in terms of real world trauma that people go through. One of the segments has people in this giant warehouse that's like simulating Amazon, and people are like peeing into bottles, and there's just a lot that is calling out the darker side of the consumerist aspect of work that we're currently going through as a culture, and I didn't need it in my life.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway was it's a horror comedy, and I just didn't find it to really be that funny.
Yeah.
Like, even when it was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I thought the most amusing segment was the first one, and maybe that's because my patience wasn't tested yet.
Yeah, totally.
About, the lady trying to make sales quotas for leggings with, had the nice cameo by Barbara Crampton as the head of the company and stuff.
Always helps.
But other than that, the 2 middle ones were just kind of like, they just went on way, way too long.
Yeah. We left at the delivery segment, the
Grubhub kind of.
Yeah, the Uber Eats guy. We left. It was having a Groundhog Day moment, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta leave. I gotta go.
Yeah. So, and that was just a festival film. I don't know if it's going to get any sort of
Well,
release.
It's Barbara Crampton, so usually
it might get a streaming
her
release
films get
someplace.
a streaming release, yeah.
Did the filmmakers have anything interesting to say about it in the Q&A? Or
I did not stay for the Q&A.
Okay.
I was not around
I went
for
outside and
either.
met up with our friend Gretchen and some friends and kind of chatted for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then by the time I went in there, they were just about the start. My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up having to leave a little bit early, unfortunately. I wish I could have caught the My Bloody Valentine screening.
Yeah, I enjoyed the My Bloody Valentine screening, even though I was sitting by myself. No,
I broke up with him via text. I really shouldn't have done that.
Well,
he said
I
he's
mean-
going to get popcorn and never came back.
Yeah. Willie bounced early, and then I went to go do an interview and literally never came back. So,
But the more, every time I watch My Bloody Valentine, I realize how much I enjoy it. And this 4K restoration was pretty sweet. And all the gore that was put into that 2000, like I think 6 DVD has been remastered now too. So it fits in seamlessly.
Oh, damn.
Because before, like when we watched it, you could tell like, oh, this is the cut footage. It looks horrible,
Like the work print or whatever.
Yeah, but so now it's put back in, and it was just a lot. I just enjoy this movie. I love the mayor and the police chief. They're just like, the police chief always has a pipe in his hand. It's like he's never smoking it, but he's got a pipe in his hand. And the mayor is just hilarious because he's got a cigar all the time, and he's just like so flummoxed and stressed out. It's just hilarious. Yeah. And I like the movie quite a bit. And with the gore put back in, it makes it a fun slasher.
Are they doing a physical release on that?
They
version?
are, yeah. Screen Factory.
Oh, goody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Screen Factory is putting it out, and that's kind of like what the director George Mahalka was kind of talking about with the interview.
Yeah, I missed the movie. I had just seen it on Valentine's Day. Adam and I had a Valentine's Day, dinner and movie in bed, which was My Bloody Valentine. So I had seen it recently. I had still wanted to see it again, but I had left work early to come to the festival because the festival started around the time that I was still in work. So I left work early. On my way home, I get a text from Eric Lee, who is the one of the founders of The Scariest Things, and he texted me asking if I wanted to interview Andrea Subissati, who is the editor of Rue Morgue magazine, who he knows I fucking love. And I was like, are you kidding me? The festival starts in an hour and a half and you want me to prepare questions to interview this woman who I love? Fuck you. And yes. So I rushed home and did like 30 minutes of prep for that. And so right when the movie was starting, I went into the green room with Eric, and we did like, I don't know, half an hour-ish interview with her. And it was transcendent. And then I, as soon as we left, we basically like had a smoke and a drink, and I was just hanging out with her and Gretchen and Gwen for the rest of the night. And so I was like, well, this trumps My Bloody Valentine. I'm so sorry.
It does sound kind of delightful, actually.
Yeah, good for you.
Even though I abandoned you.
I was sitting next to some guy. We held hands a little bit. He jumped a few times. I comforted him.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was that night, I guess.
Yeah. So we only went one night.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen some of the other features because they were showing the trailers beforehand. Some of them looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
That
the Japanese one I was curious about. I forget what
Friday
it's
the 69th looked fun.
called. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and the one called Landlord, which is kind of like the
that looked really
vampire
good too. Yeah.
one, looked like set in an urban environment or something. Looked kind of interesting as well. And then I have never seen this, but Frogman. Apparently there was the sequel, like Return of Frogman, which everybody cheered for. So I'm like, maybe I got to see this Frogman film.
I feel like the first like 40 minutes is kind of a slog-ish. I saw it when it hit streaming a couple years ago. But then the end, the last 45 minutes were really fun. So it, it's good and it's bad. It's bad and it's good. But I think that, maybe they learned from their first movie and their sequel would probably be even better.
A little shorter, maybe.
Maybe. There's just so much arguing, you know, with a lot of the found footage movies. You either get characters that you're like, oh shit, these people are really cool and I want to hang out with them, or you get characters that are just like bickering the whole time,
right?
And you just want to get away from them. And that was kind of that vibe. Was there was just a lot of bickering in the car and then getting lost in the woods and bickering in the woods, and I was just like, all right. But then Frogman shows up.
Saves the day.
Saves the day.
Yeah, drama and conflict is not just arguing necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is easy. It's very easy to do. Anyway.
All right. So we actually only just recorded our episode 5 just like 2 weeks ago.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah. So this one, the release of this episode will be a little bit delayed, but it was this weekend was the only weekend that we could record in June. So we've only had a couple of weeks to watch not many new releases. So I only have 3 new releases to talk about. One of which is a shared new release, which we'll get to shortly. But I recently watched Mother Mary with Anne Hathaway, and it blew my mind. I had literally no interest in this movie when I saw trailers for it, when it was, in the theater. Could have cared less. Even when it was on streaming, I was like, I don't really care. But I was super tired, but I wanted to watch a movie, and I wanted to watch something a little slow and heady. And I rewatched a trailer for it, and I was like, I think I might be in the mood for this. So, got a little stoned, got in bed, and holy fucking hell, this movie blew my mind. So it's by writer-director David Lowery, who has done a lot of films, but he's most known for 2017's A Ghost Story and 2021's The Green Knight, both of which I haven't seen, but I will now. It stars Anne Hathaway as Mother Mary and Michaela Cole as Sam. So essentially this movie is about a pop star who's having a comeback festival or comeback concert, and is having kind of a crisis of identity, I guess, and rushes to this fashion designer who was her dress designer when she first became famous. They were best friends, inseparable, best friends, a really, crazy connection. There was a big falling out, and their relationship was very fractured. So for her to go back to this dress designer, Sam, was like a big deal. And so she kind of rushes in a state of panic, and Sam is like, essentially, absolutely not, like, fuck you. But she agrees to do it, and they have to do it in like a night, essentially, because everything is, last minute. And the dialogue here is so phenomenal that, like, my cat Jonesy was on my lap meowing in my face, and I was like, I am kicking you out because you are ruining this movie for me. Like, it was, every word, every phrase was poetry. The set design was beautiful. So I'm going to just say that this isn't necessarily a horror movie. It is a bit of a ghost story. It's got a lot of kind of feelings of dread in it. Feelings of like the next shoe is going to drop at any moment. But it's not necessarily a horror movie. That said, all of the songs in this, so she's a pop star, and it's kind of a musical. Like, they literally have entire scenes where she's on the stage performing these songs and dancing in costume. And all of these songs were written for the movie specifically. And Anne Hathaway sings every single one of these things. She dances every single one of these dances. She spent like 2 years in preparation for this movie, and fucking kills it. And it's just, I cannot. I know that the movie was met with some, like, people were like, it was fine. But for me, it was transcendent. I loved it so much. I don't think it's for everyone, but yeah, I loved it.
Is this like So it sounds like it's going to be in, at least right now, one of the tops of the year for you.
Yeah, probably top 5 for sure.
I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah.
Another one of my friends whose opinion I trust like highly recommended it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you were describing it, I was kind of thinking it was like Smile 2 vibes. I don't know if it's
No, because it's not gory and
Okay.
it's not scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there's a bit of a ghost story involved. There's I guess the like spookiest sequence would be there's a seance flashback that is pretty creepy. But that, you know, and then there's the ghost story aspect of it.
I don't think I saw the trailer. Is it marketed as a horror movie, or?
I think it's marketed as a thriller.
Okay.
It's like a musical thriller. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Curious.
it's definitely not. I feel like spiritually it's a horror movie, but I think that if you're kind of splitting hairs about what horror is, it might not qualify to you as a horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty forgiving with my boundaries.
Yeah. It's staying on my horror movie list for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I mean, if I'm calling those Guillermo del Toro movies horror movies, then
Sure.
I'm a little loose, I think.
Have you seen anything? Oh yeah, you've seen.
Yeah, the one thing I want to talk about is I recently kind of rewatched the new Scream trilogy. I hadn't seen the last two, but I'd seen Scream 5 when it came out a couple years ago. Thought it was fine, but didn't really remember too much about it. So I rewatched that. Watched 6 for the first time last week, and then watched 7 last night.
Are you gonna break my heart?
I'm not going to break your heart. I know last time I think you said you rewatched 7 and you just loved the hell out of it, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't this your favorite franchise ever?
Yes.
And Scream's your favorite movie of all time? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Scream 7 basically kind of felt you're wrapped up in a bloody 90s nostalgia blanket.
Okay.
Basically. I did like 7. 5 I thought was entertaining. I did not like 6 really at all. I kind of hated the reveal of who the killers were. I won't spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it. And my one complaint about 7 was who the killers are. They're really just kind of grasping, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But I did like having Neve Campbell back as the lead. I kind of thought they really took a inspiration from the 2018 Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis returning, and how it really just feels like Final Girls can't get a break, man.
Yeah. No rest for the final girl.
It's like, nothing good ever happens to the Final Girls. But yeah, she was good, and it kind of held the movie together. You have some, young kids back, like, her daughter is one of the characters. Courtney Cox stumbles back in again. I think she's been in like every single one.
She has.
And they do kind of an interesting thing where they're, talking about AI a lot, where you have all the, characters from the past making an appearance, basically. But yeah, it was a fun movie. I kind of think if you like the Scream franchise, you'll get a kick out of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think I loved it quite as much as you, but yeah, I
just watch it 4 more times.
4 more, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll get home tonight and watch it again.
Yeah,
with your commentary. Yeah, but it was fine. I thought Campbell was good. I hope I know it did well at the theater. They're probably going to do part 8, but please give the Sidney Prescott character a break, man.
I mean, she
well,
had
the whole time I'm
6.
like, yeah, I know she wasn't in 6, but I'm like, God, the trauma she must have gone through.
Well, that's why I want her daughter to be
the new lead,
Tatum. Yeah, I want her to be the new final girl.
I like the kind of the 2 leads, Jenna Ortega and the other actress in 5 and 6. Mm-hmm. I know that was kind of the plan, but because of the controversy and everything that went on with, was it Melissa Barrera or whatever her name is, her comments, that they kind of just decided, nope, we're not doing that. We're going to go back and get Neve Campbell back. But
yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I still 5 is still like my least favorite of the new trilogy because I love 6, and then 7, I was lukewarm on it first, and now I really love it. But
I like the killers in 5. That kind of like, okay, I can believe this. Like by the time they got to 6 and when they revealed who the killers were, I was kind of like, and I could kind of tell this is where it was going. I'm like, please don't let that. And it ended up being that. But
yeah, I feel like the killers in 5, 6, and 7 were a bit weak. But
well, in 7, that's one thing. When they cast a couple people and they make one appearance in the middle of the movie, you're like,
yeah,
they have to be the killer. Why did you cast this person?
Yeah.
For a little small, role thing. That's who the killers are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So yesterday I watched a movie called Affection. And this is by writer-director B.T. Meza, and it stars Jessica Roth, who is in Happy Death Day, among other movies, but most known to me being Tree in Happy Death Day. And Joseph Cross, who's also in a ton of movies, and I never really know what I've seen him in, but he's always recognizable. He was really great. Essentially, this woman wakes up with no memory of the life that she's supposed to be having. She remembers a different life. So she remembers that she has a different name and a different husband and a different child in a different house. And she's being met with this man who's saying, no, that's not real. You're actually this person, and I'm your husband, and this is your child, and this is your house. And
that's a great setup.
Yeah. And so she's basically, he says, you have a condition where you had an accident and your memories are false. And the reason why they're false is because you're pulling in information from all of these things in your life, books that you've read, movies that you've seen, people that you've known, and you're creating a false narrative of who you are. And that will fade. We just need you to stay in isolation, and I will, continue to show you like videos and pictures of your life, and you'll eventually remember. And so she basically acquiesces and says, okay, like, tell me who I was, or am, I should say. But you start getting the sense that like not all is as it seems, of course. I did like this movie a lot, but once I started realizing the reveal, which was pretty early on for me, I couldn't stop thinking about the movie from 2025 called In Vitro that I really, really liked. And I won't give away the plot to that because that kind of gives away the plot to this. But that's just to say that, like, I know that we take movies and we take the ideas and the plots and we kind of like, we keep doing it over and over and over. And that's all fine and good. We've all seen the same, movie rehashed and differently. But for some reason, In Vitro was a really unique idea, and to see it only in a second movie, I couldn't divorce the two. And it just felt like they were doing a poor man's job of this other movie that I thought was really excellent. I think that if you haven't seen In Vitro, then Affection is a very good movie. Especially the end is super. It's a great ending. It is a very good movie, but I got hung up on this idea that it was too similar to this other movie, so ruined it a little bit for me. But I do recommend it. It's streaming. Yeah.
Do you have any suspicions on where they think, was it an accident? Like two people came up with like a similar idea, or were they thinking like we could improve on that?
I think it's just a similar idea based on society and just where we're headed in the future and all of those things. Like, I think that it's a topic that is relevant and contemporary, and we're probably going to see more movies about it. But there hasn't been a lot done recently. Maybe in the past, maybe in like the 70s when it was just like the future is this, and you're like, oh shit, that's scary. There's probably a few of those lingering and decades ago, but in terms of like now contemporary movies, those are the two movies that stand out about this topic. And so yeah, it was a little hard to kind of divorce them. I mean, we're all familiar with like you know, oh shit, there's like this movie's coming out and it's about a killer crocodile, and then like a month later there's another killer crocodile, and then, you know, it's like they always happen in threes. It's like an airplane shark movie, another airplane shark movie, you know. It's just like they're always piggybacking on each other, so it's not very surprising. This is a little further apart than normal, but it's a really good movie. I do recommend it, and Jessica Roth is phenomenal. Just a really, really great actress who commits to the horrors of it all.
Cool. Did you rent this?
Yeah. I rented it for like $4 or something. And then the last movie that we've all seen.
Yeah, it's the big one that came out right now, a week and a half ago, I guess. Yeah.
We hadn't seen it at the time of our last podcast, which we...
Yeah, it had yet to come out.
Yeah.
It was a week away.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, I don't know how deep we want to go into it right now, but it's... I am so fucking jazzed and excited and joyous about the last couple of weeks that I've had in a movie theater. Fucking Backrooms. Good God, man. The Backrooms fucks. That is my personal opinion. I was absolutely delighted the entire time. Me and my wife took our friend Jenna to it, and we were all like moaning in dread the entire time. And at one point, during a certain acrophobic scene, my wife grabbed both of our hands, and all of our palms were like super sweaty. I did scream a couple times, and the whole time I'm just like, I love this. I love this. I love this. It was great. Vibes for days. I have a lot to fucking say about this one, but some of which kind of relates to what you were just talking about your previous movie. Yeah, what a fucking great couple of weeks for horror. It's really makes me think of last year. We got Sinners and 28 Years Later, which were very, very expensive movies that took some big swings and some big chances. And these kind of feel like the parallel to that, only they were much, much cheaper. But I haven't been able to stop thinking about these two movies since we saw them. And the last week, I've just been in the autism zone, absorbing all of the YouTube content for the Backrooms that I possibly can in my waking life. So, yeah, a little obsessed.
Yeah.
Was that what we were going to talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I love that the episode that we did about YouTubers, which Willie, you had texted Jeff and I weeks in advance. It was like 2 or 3 weeks in advance before we did the episode. Basically, like, I think now is the time that, you know, we should do our YouTube episode. And Jeff and I didn't know a lot about YouTube horror. And we were like, okay, if you want to do it, like, we can manage, you know, we'll do enough research. We can pull this together. And so, you know, that was the deep dive of all of the YouTube stuff, and including, you know, Curry Barker, who did Obsession and who was well known for Milk and Cereal, and then Kane Parsons, who did the Backrooms, you know, series, and then now is famous for Backrooms. So we did this episode 2 weeks ago before Backrooms even came out. Obsession had just come out. Backrooms hadn't been released yet. And it feels like now we were like, you know, standing on the ledge, shouting to the world about what they were about to receive, you know, because Backrooms came out and then it just like blew up the whole universe. And I was listening to NPR talk about YouTube horror. You know, I'm like, YouTube horror is all the topic of conversation right now, and how it's basically like taken over Hollywood and usurped even the Star Wars movie that came out. So
nothing against Grogu, but I love to see it.
Yeah, I absolutely love to see it as well. I was not the biggest fan of Backrooms. I love the episodes on YouTube for sure, and I was very excited about this movie, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. I think that the third act kind of broke it for me a bit. I was all there until the kitchen scene, and I'm not going to talk about any spoilers, but when the kitchen scene happened, I was like, I don't know what movie this is anymore. So I am looking forward to watching it again. I think that when Adam and I saw it, we both enjoyed watching it very much. When it was over, he said, "What did you think?" And I said, "Well, I liked it. I think I was a little disappointed." And he said, "Me too." And that was it, you know? So I loved all of the backrooms stuff, you know, like the finding the backrooms, exploring the backrooms, how fucked up everything was. When his assistant and her boyfriend, or those two young people, go into the backrooms with him. I loved all of that.
Some fucking top tier found footage.
Oh yeah,
in this movie.
I loved all of that, and I even liked. I wasn't really I didn't really understand why the therapist character was involved, or any of that stuff. But when she shows up to the backrooms, I was even here for a little bit when she was like, you know, running from that thing that she, you know, and she's like on the ledge and stuff. Like, that was pretty fun. But the thing that she's running from, I just thought was so, I thought it was really cheesy, and I wished it was something different. And I know that there's talk about how like the backrooms kind of takes a memory of what it knows and then distorts it, which is why things look slightly off there, which explains the thing that she's running from and why it's the way that it is. But I don't know, the way that it was done, I just thought it was really silly.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a very subjective thing. That's it's either gonna work for you or it's not. You know, it worked for me. Like, there's this level of like absurdness to it. It's so absurd that you're either going to laugh or you're going to be terrified. You know, and I could see why it wouldn't work for some people, but for me, I found it much more effective than that kind of the bacteria monster that's in the YouTube videos. That looks to me just more like a wire sculpture that's walking around or something.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I'm not saying I don't like him, but
no, yeah, totally.
He's a cute little guy.
Yeah, Jeff, what did you think?
Well, I had never even heard of this until we did our episode 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So when we talked about this is coming out, I decided, okay, I'm not going to watch anything on YouTube. You didn't watch any of the Backrooms episodes? No. Oh, wow. I want to go in to this movie basically as a clean slate, like not knowing anything about it, to see, does this work as a movie, or do you have to know, you know, what this YouTube sensation is? So I went into the movie and I kind of loved it.
You did?
I did. I thought
that's awesome.
I thought it was like fantastic, scary, and kind of hypnotic in this strange way. And like a counterpoint to what you think, like the kitchen scene for me, and everyone's going to take something differently out of this movie, but that scene kind of sums up what the message of the movie is to me.
What's the message of the movie?
This is all going to be different, but to me, I kind of read it as you need to address your trauma or it will destroy you and possibly other people in your life as well. That's kind of what I took out of it. And also the whole thing about how everybody looks a little bit different in the movie, because it's a memory. I kind of read that as like all events in your life, when you think back on them, probably are not exactly what happened.
Right.
It's a version of what you think happened. So
it's distorted and not accurate.
Yeah, just like sometimes you tell a story over and over and over again, sometimes you're going to embellish it or forget certain aspects. I mean, that's just kind of like what I took out of it. Other people are going to take other things out of it. Somebody might not take anything out of it at all. But, yeah, so I just really, really enjoyed it. And I'm kind of glad, like, there's one scene with the scientist where they don't really push it too far. I'm like, okay, don't go too far with this because you're going to ruin the movie, I thought.
Yeah, but like over-explaining.
Yeah, so they didn't do that. But I really, really enjoyed the movie. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going back this Thursday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yeah, I enjoyed it. I know we're basically a little over 5 months into the year, and it's probably right now in my top 3.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Same.
Wow.
So we're coming back with the spoiler talk at the end, right? Or are we just diving in now?
To the spoiler talk of the backrooms?
For backrooms.
I don't know.
That's what I thought we had agreed on. We don't have to. But
I mean, we can, I guess.
I don't care.
So if anybody hasn't seen the movie yet, they can forward.
Skip ahead to this time code.
Fast forward a bit. Maybe 10 minutes.
I mean, is it cool? Is it all right if we do spoilers?
No, that's fine.
We might be here a little while. I promise we'll get to the to the trilogy.
Yeah.
But okay, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I totally understand about the third act in the kitchen scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was completely hypnotized and immersed in I think right before that scene, like, we have that iconic shot that's in the teaser where it's like descending to the different levels of her childhood home, and it gets more and more warped and fucked up, and I was literally just like bouncing in my fucking seat. I was so happy. And then we get to that kitchen scene, and I was kind of like, my immersion did wobble a little bit. That was not what I was expecting, like, oh, we're gonna go a little Texas Chainsaw now, is that what's going on? But it worked because, like, for me, like, that we're at this point, we're kind of in this little pocket of the Backrooms, which is our antagonist Clark's unconscious, his personal unconscious, where he keeps all of his shame about the various failures of his life, his job, and his marriage. So it did work for me. It was, like, the vibe of that room, I guess, is so different, and everything that happens in that room is so different. I lost my balance for a little bit, but I was able to kind of buy back in. And then once Big Clark comes out,
Captain Clark.
Captain Clark.
Yeah, I was totally fucking sold. And I love that they got that actor from Alien Romulus. So much of this movie was practical, and I cannot fucking wait for the physical to come out. So, like, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of behind the scenes of this giant 30,000 square foot labyrinth that they really built on the set. Let's see.
Why, though? Why did he start eating them? He hadn't been in there for that long.
Well, I think it's like,
and
that's not really
I guess
established.
time is not.
It probably is a little distorted in the back rooms, and I don't know. Like, there's that one point where he says, like, when he brings the camera crew back to help him investigate, he's like, every night that I come back here,
Right.
He's like drawing the map of it, and he's been there enough to have that map at his second therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I assume that he had been going back a couple, for at least 3 nights or something. I could be wrong about that.
But why does he even have the idea to eat them?
I think by
he's
that
fucked up.
I think by that point he's been there a long time.
Okay.
And the one thing that kind of sold me on my theory about the whole trauma thing is he says, I like it here.
Yeah.
I want to stay here. I don't want to change.
Right.
And then shortly after that, his alter ego comes and basically kills him.
Yeah.
Right? And I kind of think for some reason the whole eating thing is metaphor for it's going to eat you alive.
Or you consume, or maybe the memories that you have, you can continue to give you sustenance in a way. I don't know.
Toxic sustenance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also it's just really weird and dreamy. And I would not put it past David Lynch to have thought of a scene like that.
And the woman standing in the corner,
probably his ex-wife.
That's what I took it as, because, you know, he basically scalps her and puts her hair on,
yes.
on his therapist when they're role playing.
Oh, I forgot.
Right.
And I think the guy that he disembowels and eats from, I think he's like his furniture salesman rival that he's watching the commercial on TV. His name is Big Wayne, I think.
Huh.
Yeah. And when...
Who's the lamp guy?
I have no idea.
He was like from the movie Freaks, I think. He just popped in. No. But
no
then
idea.
when Captain Clark shows up, when he starts coming, his wife just runs out of the room.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think is like... I mean, this is just what I'm reading into it. There's probably just all different types of levels of things people are going to take out of it. But, it worked. It worked for me.
Yeah, if there's a commentary in the physical release with the writer, because Kane Parsons didn't write the movie. It was Will, who's it? Will Sudik?
Yeah. He hasn't been a part of any of the press, really. It's interesting.
I know. So this guy, Will Sudik, is really only known for the TV show Ash versus the Evil Dead. He has not done any movies. He did.
I think he worked on Westworld too.
He had one episode.
Okay.
I mean, I think he was a producer of a couple of the things that he wrote for, but he wrote one episode for Westworld and one episode for Homeland. And then he wrote like 8 episodes for Ash versus Evil Dead. So this guy is like, he's been in the industry for a while, but he hasn't really been known for much. So this is like his big thing. So I'm really curious to hear from this guy, like, why did you write this? You know, like these characters, this progression, like you already have the establishment of Backrooms and what Kane Parsons kind of put out there with the government stuff. But this furniture sales guy, you know, the therapist and all of that is unique.
I'm curious to hear about, like, because maybe it was like, hey, can you somehow flush out this, make a story out of these videos? Well, maybe they had multiple people trying this, and that's what they
yeah. In my hyperfixation rabbit hole of the last week and a half or whatever, I did hear Kane talk about like they took a couple different passes for possible stories, and that was the one that seemed the most appropriate. They tried a bunch of different things, and none of them felt like they were working. As far as the furniture salesman, I think that all is a very kind of cheeky, clever way to tie into the actual source material of that Backrooms photo. It was actually a furniture store,
right?
And kind of helps to maybe explain the look of the place a little bit. That, of course, depends on how much of Clark's mind is a part of the structure of the Backrooms to begin with. There's a whole lot of lore in the YouTube stuff that it might be actually the mind of Ivan Beck, who is the CEO, I guess, of Async, the research company that's in the hazmat suits going down there.
Oh, okay.
Used to make MRIs.
Yes.
Right.
So it was probably, according to the lore, I think it was like a combination of like an electromagnetic test they were doing at the time that there were some solar flares that caused the disruption and created the portal into this dimension. But clearly Clark's mind is influencing it a little bit too in some way. But I don't know, like the YouTube series is so hard sci-fi, you know, but there are still like these weird, dreamy, psychological, and even trauma-based elements. The element of trauma, at least in terms of the character Ivan Beck, figures into the lore, even being mentioned in certain like song titles that Kane put out. A lot of his song titles reference the lore of the Backrooms.
How many episodes are there?
God, there's like, I want to say around, I don't know if it's like 30 or 40. There's about 3 hours of content, I think, in total.
For some reason, like 38 popped into my head. So it's like around there somewhere.
There were some people that were speculating that A24 was kind of like, oh, can we snap up what this kid's doing and like make it about trauma like everything else we do? And I did find out in interviews as well that Kane's mother is a therapist.
Okay.
So that is a very like organic thing to me. And he said, you know, like the world that we're exploring is the same, but I wanted to take advantage of different media formats to go into that world in different ways. So I love that idea personally. Like there's the scientific physics-based way into it, then there's maybe the psychological way into it. And afterwards, my wife, who doesn't know any of the YouTube lore, but she came up with she wondered if the therapist in her book about opening the window was somehow creating new portals, like people were opening in their minds or whatever. It could just be that it was by happenstance that his furniture store happened to be one of the portals, or he might have had something to do with it opening up. I like to think, just because I'm Mr. Jungian, that he had something to do with it opening up.
This is the perfect A24 movie.
Seriously.
Because so many of their movies are so polarizing with horror fans.
That's so true.
I mean, there is such a huge conversation. Like, I've read a lot of stuff about Backrooms, then, of course, everything A24 seems to put out. There's a contingent of people that just do not like it at all. You know, they just dislike
the A24 vibe in general. Or...
Yeah, you know, it's like people call it elevated horror. You know, that conversation goes around and around where people just don't like it. And that's fine. But when I walked out of this movie, I'm like, oh, this is the perfect movie for them.
Divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go back and forth on A24. There are movies that I really like of theirs and movies that I'm like, oh God, that was just not my thing. But
yeah. There's been a lot of backlash against the trauma core subgenre that's been happening lately, and I do get it to a degree, because like some of the movies are definitely repetitive, you know, like there's like clusters of like 4 movies that are all kind of saying the exact same thing, and oftentimes they do really just kind of hit you over the head with the metaphor so hard that you're like, is this even a metaphor anymore?
Yeah. I mean, they're doing that in the publishing industry as well with horror. Like every fucking book that comes out is about trauma. So, you know, it's hard to escape right now. And maybe it's just because, you know, we're at a stage in society where we're finally going to therapy and we're finally like, you know, confronting what the fuck's going on with the world and ourselves, and, you know,
you nailed it.
and what trauma and how trauma has affected us and the decisions that we've made as a society.
But at least someone's still putting out a movie called Hungry, Hungry Hippos. Yeah, so, you know,
that's for me.
Well, I do think like, well, I do know like, yeah, there are certain people that they want a certain type of horror movie, and that's totally fine.
Yeah,
you know, that's what they want for enjoyment when watching.
And movies for them will always be there.
Yeah.
Well,
there will always be Art the Clown.
Well, yes. I mean, when you say them, I feel like you are talking about me.
Sorry.
But no. I mean, I love trauma horror. You know, I love all kinds of horror. That's the thing, is that, like, you know, I am a equal opportunity horror lover. I do like an Art the Clown film, and I like a Backrooms movie, and I like a Scream movie, and like I'm just you know, I'm here for the genre, and I'm not very fucking picky about it. But that said, the trauma train has got to pull up to the station at some point. I don't know. Maybe not.
Once enough dudes start going to therapy, then we can have a new subgenre. Right. So, guys, let's fucking get to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, trends exist for a reason. You know, there's fads that people just do because everyone else is doing it, and then there are trends. And this is a really fucking huge issue that's going on, you know, collectively with all of us.
100%. Yeah.
And how many fucking Letterboxd reviews have you read that, you know, like use that joke about like men would rather blah, blah, blah than go to therapy? You know, why do you think that's happening? I don't know. So I have no problem with it as long as they keep making them interesting. And this is definitely one of the most interesting trauma core movies that I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
I don't know, how deep do I want to go into this? Maybe I don't want to go that deep. I think we're covering a lot of good stuff here.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll save it for a separate YouTube video of my own.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
I would watch that. Shall we start talking about our triple features?
Why not?
Okay. Willie, you kick us off.
The movie that I chose is one that I saw a couple times before, and I've always been pretty fond of it. This is a movie called Knife and Heart from 2018, co-written and directed by Jan Gonzalez, with a musical score by his brother, Anthony Gonzalez, who goes by the name M83. Some really good dreamy synthwave, vaporwave stuff going on there. Plot of the film: Anne Parizzi is a gay porn filmmaker having a very hard time getting over her editor, former lover Lois, when the cast and crew of her newest production begin getting killed horribly, and alters the production that she's working on to reflect the murders and investigation, changing the title from Anal Fury to Homicidal. I will admit, I really do love Italian horror and giallo, but I'm basic bitch in the sense that I mainly know Argento, and so that's mainly what I'm going to be comparing this movie to. But there are so many different Argento flicks that this movie, I think, is paying direct homage to. Most obviously, probably Bird with the Crystal Plumage, and there's a bit of a Tenebrae vibe going on there, and there's a little bit of opera as well. It's interesting. Giallos are kind of typically heteronormative, and by extension, the violence is very misogynistic feeling. So this is kind of an interesting thing to make it a gay male film, directed by a gay male, perceived through the female gaze of two lesbian characters. So we do get to kind of bypass a lot of the traditional male gazeness of this movie, to explore this very like hyper Freudian sexual violent content without that baggage, which is kind of a cool thing. I feel similarly about the movie Duke of Burgundy, which is kind of a kink love story about a dysfunctional relationship between a dom and a sub, and by not only making the two characters women, but having that movie set in a universe where men apparently don't exist, is a really fun way to explore those kind of dynamics without having to have traditional stereotypical male-female baggage. But yeah, I like this one a lot. It's very passionate. There's a lot of rage and pain in this movie, I think, you know.
Mm-hmm. Nice murdering instrument as well.
Oh, absolutely. Doesn't get more giallo than that, does it?
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy this movie. It does a fantastic job of feeling like a seedy 70s giallo film. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really just kind of like, you feel like I got to take a shower after watching this movie. like a lot of those 70s giallo films, you kind of feel that way too. You just feel like you can smell the sweat on everybody.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I need a shower, but what fluids am I washing off? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. My only criticism for the movie is kind of similar to the same criticisms I have with any of the giallo films, where it kind of starts to lose me in the third act. You're like, who is doing what and what is happening now? But yeah, it's a small complaint, but I do enjoy this movie quite a bit. And I know the lead actress, I think she was like married to Johnny Depp for a long time.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Well, their daughter.
Yeah, Lily Rose Depp, right? Yeah.
Nosferatu girl.
Yeah, Lily Rose Depp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I enjoy this movie quite a bit.
Yeah, I also enjoyed the movie. In the end, it was a little too porny for me. in the beginning.
Pretty porny.
I wasn't, for an afternoon movie, which is I just watched it a few hours ago. For an
after dark movie,
for an afternoon movie, and
that's why you were late answering the door.
In the late, in the late light of day. It's very porny, and I'm not saying no to porn. I just didn't expect so much of it. There was a lot. But I liked it. I liked, essentially, I liked when we followed Anne, the main character, out of the studio and kind of like on. There was at one point in the film where she gets on the train because she goes to the police station and after another one of her actors is killed, because the movie essentially focuses on all of these gay porn actors getting killed, and it's all of her actors, who are on her movies, and it's just happening one after the other. And she goes to the police and she's like, "Aren't you guys doing anything?" And the police are like, "Well, it's not really a high priority for us." And she's like, "God damn it." So she gets a clue from one of the detectives, and
it's a feather.
She gets a feather, yeah.
They find by all the bodies.
Right. Yeah. And it's a very unique feather, and she kind of looks up this this bird expert, which is another weird fucking scene when she goes into the woods and there's this like pyramid house, which I was like, what the fuck is this house? This is directly out of David Lynch. And she goes to this pyramid house and there's this like woman sitting outside, and then she calls upon this young man who appears from the woods, and he has a bird fucking hand or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And
he has that disease that makes you slowly turn into a bird.
Right. Of course. Yeah. So she gives her this clue that like this feather comes from, these ancient woods, from this lore that this bird comes down and will essentially take the death out of you, so that like essentially dying people would go to these woods, and these birds would come and take the death out of you and take the death and burn it in the sun, but they got too close to the sun, so they were blinded. And so there's this whole lore, and so she goes to these fucking woods. She gets on a train and she goes to the woods to try to figure out like who's killing, what do these feathers have to do with all these deaths? And then there's this weird cemetery scene, and the people at the inn. It got really weird, and I was here for it. Like as soon as she got the feather, like from then on, I loved the movie. But all of the rest of it, I was like, okay, when are we moving on from this porno that they're shooting? It's just a lot.
Don't you think? I really wish they would have had a different title, something with a bird, an animal, a lizard, a bug, because that fits in so much with so many of the Giallo films where they have interesting title.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking they should have named, especially when they have the whole bird thing. I'm like, why did they not? Unless they just thought it would be too humorous or didn't. Or
no, I think that would have been great. Maybe they can go back and amend that. So in my research of this film, I learned that the lead character is loosely based on Anne-Marie Tency.
Yes.
A female producer specializing in gay porn that was active in France in the 70s and 80s. So I thought that was really kind of like a lovely homage to an actual real person.
And she did have a partner for a while named Lois.
Oh, really?
Lois Koenigswerther, an American director and editor who was a lover and collaborator of Tency.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So tonight you're going to do deep dive research into her filmography.
Oh God, I think I'm porned out for the day. I have a hard time pronouncing names. Jacques Noloto. Noloto?
Sure.
No? Okay. So he had a cameo, and he is an actor-director whose own 2002 drama Porn Theater serves as a thematic reference point for Knife and Heart's penultimate murder scene in an adult cinema, which was really cool. I don't know who I don't know which character he was in that scene, but I really did love the theater scene. What I thought was really funny was that, like, so they're in this theater playing, you know, her Anne's movies, and she's in the audience kind of mourning the death of her lover, and all of these men are in the background, and they're all, you know, giving blowjobs and fucking each other. But every time one of them stands up, their pants are on, zipped up, you know, and like, but they stand up suddenly, like, I'm suddenly standing up, you know, but everybody's pants are on. And I was like, how do you give a blowjob with when, you know, your pants zipped up?
Life finds a way.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, nobody's pants are actually down for any of these blowjobs. Yeah. So the other thing that I did love about this, I know that there was a lot of, apparently there was a lot of Brian De Palma influences, who I just don't know his work that well.
The split screen, I could see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was, there was
the kind of like fetishistic close-ups of like AV equipment.
Okay. Apparently there was narrative nods to Dress to Kill, Blowout, and Body Double, which I just don't know them.
Those are all Brian De Palma movies.
Yeah.
Brian De Palma was like a student of Hitchcock.
Yeah.
All these movies are kind of seedy versions of Hitchcock movies.
Body Double, I can totally see that now that you mention it.
Yeah.
There's this very, very weird section where the protagonist in the movie just kind of stumbles into a club where there's a Frankie Goes to Hollywood video just happening.
Nice.
It's just a musical number. And it's not explained at all. Yeah. And like I feel like kind of maybe also paying homage to those little weirdo Argento devices, like in Four Flies on Grey Velvet, the murder gets solved because in this movie's universe, there's a machine that can capture the last image that a dead person has imprinted on their eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they get a visual clue from that. So like make that leap to a magical bird.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is like what was really noteworthy to me immediately was just how it's like somebody really studied giallo and just made the film like, I'm going to make this 1970s/80s giallo film, and it's going to have every single fucking giallo thing in it. You know, you've got like the vibrant colors of blues and reds and all of that. You've got the masked killer with the black gloves, with the close-up of a bladed knife object. So like in giallos, it's mostly always like a sharp object is the murder weapon. You have the POV of the killer, so you're not, you know, the killer's not just showing up randomly and killing people. Like you actually are with the killer and watching him kill people, and then you're going back to the main characters. The motivation's always like childhood trauma or psychosexual kind of situation. There's always a fumbling police officers or like a police, you know, that aren't doing their job. So like the character has to like find the clues and help solve the murders. It's just like every single beat of this, aside from like, you know, boys banging was so giallo. It was like really, and even like the soundtrack and the rainy streets and like, you know, it was a really good giallo movie that wasn't a giallo movie.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think they capture a 70s giallo movie pretty perfectly, just in its mood and tone.
Yeah,
I mean, a little bit seedier than, you know, the actual 70s ones were, but still, there's a lot of stuff to like.
I do really, I enjoy like that kind of vibe, and it's like it's like maybe the sleazier counterpart to that duo that made like Strange Color of Your Body's Tears and
I haven't seen that one yet.
Gorgeous movies, man. You will not find better cinematography anywhere. Yeah.
Okay. What about that diamond?
And they make even less sense.
What was the diamond tier? It came out like last year.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah.
I think kind of like like a spoof on like spy movies like Diabolic and stuff.
But still really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful and psychedelic.
I need to watch those. Do we have anything more to say on this one? I know that he has a new movie coming out called I'll Forget Your Name, which is a gothic horror drama starring Vanessa Paradis. I think either they're in post-production, so it should be this year or next year. The film follows a 50-year-old instructor in a small village whose nightly cruising encounters take a darker turn when she falls for a young man who soon vanishes, sending her down a mysterious and nightmarish path. So that'll be coming out from that director, Jans Gonzalez, as well.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, and he is partnering with M83 again as well.
Cool.
Are you next? Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Only because mine, I feel like we'll have a lot to say on your film and not a lot to say on my film. Because, again, I picked a movie that...
You'd seen it before, though, right?
Yeah, I had seen it before.
So you can't do that again, can you? You just keep picking movies you've never seen.
No, I didn't. I picked a movie that I saw. There's just there's not a ton of deep diving into this. It's a pretty surface level movie. It's called What Keeps You Alive. It's a 2018 Canadian film written and directed by Colin Minahan of the Vicious Brothers. So the Vicious Brothers together, they wrote directed the 2011 Grave Encounters. They did Extraterrestrial, which was 2014, and 2017's It Stains the Sands Red, which I love that movie. So he basically wrote and directed this movie, What Keeps You Alive. And What Keeps You Alive is about these two women who are married. They go to this cabin in the woods, which is one of the woman's grandfather's cabin that she inherited. And they're celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And once they get there, the place is beautiful and, they're having a romantic time. And then essentially a neighbor shows up, and the neighbor calls the one woman by a different name. They had known each other since childhood, and she basically calls her by another name, confusing her wife and kind of angering her. But that was the first moment where we kind of understand that something is not right here. Essentially, it's not really a spoiler because this is what the movie is about, but the woman, Jackie... So we mostly follow Jules, who is the wife. Jackie is the other wife, who's the cabin this is. So Jackie turns out to be a psychopath, and she is essentially a serial killer who has been killing all of her wives. And the reason why I love this movie is because it normalizes just a queer relationship. The movie is not about them being gay. It's not about gayness at all. It's just about this woman who is a sociopath or a psychotic serial killer, and that's it, and it just so happens that they're lesbians. And I love that, because I think that one of the things I always say is that I need more women monsters. I need more women who are killers. I need more women who, are the bad guy, are the thing to be afraid of, because so often we're the victim or the final girl, and that's just kind of where we are relegated to in horror. And I just love a female killer. So that's kind of why I chose this for queer horror, for my queer horror movie, because it just normalizes that. And I love a movie that doesn't have to talk about why it's gay. It's just gay,
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you guys think?
I will start off by saying one of my least favorite horror subgenres is the domestic horror film.
Oh, really?
Which is basically Fatal Attraction kind of launched this, but the 1990s were filled with movies like Single White Female, Domestic Disturbance, Unlawful Entry. All these ones where, somebody is not who they say they are, and they're going to, kill you and everybody in your family. However, I thought this film was really, really well done. I enjoyed both performances by the lead actresses, and there's pretty much 3 people in this entire movie. I mean, you have the neighbors across the street. The husband has 2 lines or whatever, but their friend. But the movie is pretty much carried by these 2 actresses, and Brittany, who played the survivalist.
Brittany Allen.
Brittany Allen. She does a pretty damn good job in this movie of conveying kind of like what she's feeling and what she's going through without having too much real dialogue to do it. Expressions on her face. She's a fighter, though.
Yeah.
Man, what she goes through, I'm like, I don't know, can you survive all of that? Yeah, but I thought it was...
Spoiler alert, you can't.
Yeah, but I thought it was well done. I did appreciate the same thing that you said, where it's like, okay, it's not even acknowledged that, it's a gay couple. That's the way it is. And none of the characters in the movie bring reference to it at all, either. So, yeah.
It's a good point. It's not something that I had considered necessarily. But I loved the first act.
Okay.
Once the reveal happened and the plot kicked in, I did not buy Jackie's performance.
Jackie was the psycho, the psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah. Her wife, I totally bought. She sold the fuck out of it, even though the script had her do some very stupid things.
Yeah.
I was totally in love with her and wanted her to live. It reminded me a bit of Revenge.
Okay, yeah.
Especially in the how the fuck did she survive that kind of thing. And then I can't say what it reminded me of in the third act because that would be a huge spoiler unless we're going there. But it didn't work for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's okay. I kind of, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, Willie's not going to like this.
It's just not about generational trauma.
Well, I'm getting more of a sense of the things that you like and don't like. And while I don't necessarily think about it in advance, when I'm watching it, I kind of pick up on like, oh yeah, no, Willie wouldn't like this. And like, and I alternatively, like, I know what Jeff would like because we have a lot of the same tastes and we like a lot of the same things in terms of contemporary films. But some of the things that I love about this movie, one of the things is that it takes the classic trope of like, well, there's multiple tropes in here. There's the cabin in the woods. There's the final girl. There's the serial killer spouse. There's the cat and mouse aspect. And it takes those tropes, but it kind of like turns them on their head a little bit. They're not all just like, the trope from A to Z. It kind of like makes it its own, which I really appreciated. And just kind of I had written down when I was actually taking notes when I was watching this. The cinematography in this is just really beautiful. Like they're in the middle of these woods and it's, there's this beautiful lake and these like, woods and the mountain and the cabin is gorgeous and there's a fireplace and, it's just a really pretty, movie. And one of the scenes that I absolutely love is there's this one point where Jackie and Jules, are upstairs and she essentially like Jackie is chasing Jules and she chases her upstairs and they're fighting and they're like literally wrestling across the upstairs, but you're not up there with them. You don't actually follow them. You're following the ceiling from the first floor. And so the camera is like panning across the ceiling as they're wrestling and the light is swinging and you can hear the thumping and the dust falls from the floorboards. And it's just so beautiful. And it's kind of a long scene. It goes from one room to the next, and you can hear them like grunting and punching and, stomping. And I just thought, what a fucking like beautiful way to go through this fight scene.
Yeah, I thought that was a very creative way to not have to choreograph and do a fight scene, but you get the implication of what's happening.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good example of kind of creative filmmaking on a. Yeah. And I thought like some of the camera angles, like there's a scene where she's trying to get away on the boat and she's getting pursued, and you have a couple shots where they hook the camera to the end of the oar, kind of give it a disorienting feel to the scene, which I kind of felt like, okay, this is kind of what the character is feeling. So I thought, the director did a pretty decent job sometimes of doing some creative camera work, and
I did love the cinematography.
Yeah,
that opening one shot when she's exploring the house is fantastic too. Yeah,
and when Jules is or Jackie is straddling the neighbor and stabbing her to death, and just like the arcs of like her coming up and going down and like over and over, and then the blood splattering. It was just like a really beautiful. Are we just the most demented people in the world?
that shot reminded me a little bit of Psycho.
Oh,
like,
okay.
We're gonna watch the knife keep going up and down.
Right. Yeah. And then the blood splattering, and it was just a really lovely scene.
One of the things that drives me crazy about these types of movies is like, how do these people keep getting away with all? They murdered. How many people?
I know, like she opened that box and there was like, there had to be like 12 lockets in there.
Yeah, and like for insurance, I mean, there's just like, I know you have to suspend your disbelief sometimes, but like all these movies have that where the reveal of like, oh, they've been married 15 times before that, and they've had other families and they murdered them all. I'm just like,
okay. Speak no evil.
Yeah, so it's kind of like...
That really sticks in your craw, doesn't it?
A little bit. It's a very annoying movie.
Oh, boy.
No, it's interesting what you said about how now that when we've been doing this, you kind of, when you're watching something, you realize maybe what one of the three of us might think about it. I mean, I've known Willie for 25 years, so I pretty much know... I mean, we pretty much know each other, I think, and what we're going to like and dislike. I mean, there's variations on things, but
we're always finishing each other's
sentences. No, yeah, but I think I'm getting a read on what you like too, and that's kind of the fun thing about it, right?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Okay, so again, my movie wasn't a hit, and that's totally fine. I'll get friends someday who actually like me and the things that I like.
We like you. We like you, right? I'm just kidding.
All right, let's talk about this other fucking movie.
All right. My movie that I chose was The Picture of Dorian Gray from 1945, based on the 1891 novel by Oscar Wilde. Controversial novel, even back in the day. Oscar Wilde was a pretty controversial character. He went to prison for sodomy, believe it or not. He was pretty much a gay man who was not shy about it. And this is his only novel. He was pretty much a playwright other than that. And it pretty much is a autobiography, I guess you could say, about Oscar Wilde's life and his beliefs. But basically the story is Dorian Gray has a picture painted of him by a lifelong friend. He makes a wish to kind of be youthful forever. And basically that's what happens. I think everybody knows the story of this literature, right?
Well, I was under the impression that the painting aged.
Well, yeah.
I didn't realize that the painting reflected his sins in a grotesque way.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, Dorian has this painting done of him. He keeps it locked away because as time goes on, he does not age, but the picture represents all his sins, and it ages. So he's kind of immune to all his shenanigans. Okay, the novel, which I read back in college, is very more open about the homosexuality going on. And they, of course, had to tone it down for the 1945 film because of the Hays Code of the time. But there's still a lot of subtext in this movie that totally is there if you're ready to see it. I don't even know if you're ready to see it. I think it's just there.
Ready or not.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I didn't see a ton of it.
Okay. Because I'm familiar with the novel and there's so much there, I kind of read into it a little bit into the movie as well. But I realize we're not talking about the novel, but the movie, so that's what I'll talk about. But okay, you have this one character, Lord Henry, played by George Sanders, who is basically a devil on the shoulder character. He believes in hedonism, giving into earthly pleasures, and embracing.
Kind of hates women too.
He does. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's so much dialogue just kind of bad-mouthing women.
Even though he's married. Like, he has a wife.
Supposedly, right? Yeah. But we never...
No, she goes to the dinner party.
Does she?
Yeah.
Does she?
She goes to one of the dinner parties.
Okay, yeah.
Is she his beard, maybe?
Yeah. But this movie is kind of dripping with dandies. Like, I mean, everybody seems like they're a dandy in this movie.
Dripping with dandies.
But yeah, so the character of Dorian Gray becomes influenced by Lord Henry, and we never really see what Dorian's sins are. They're alluded to in narration pretty much because they couldn't really show anything. But he never gets married. He has a couple of female relationships, and one of the most wickedly sinister aspects is what happens to Sybil Vane, played by Angela Lansbury, where he tells Lord Henry, I want to marry her. Lord Henry says, like, oh, why don't you test her by telling her, will you spend the night? And if she's a virtuous woman, she won't. And, you know, if she does stay the night, then you know she's not a virtuous lady. She agrees to stay the night, and then basically Dorian Gray tells her to get out, never wants to see her again, which leads to tragic consequences. That's just like so wickedly sinister of a move.
Well, the letter that he wrote her too was just like, dude, fucking tone it down. He was just like, I hate you. I never want to see you again. You're a slut.
Yeah. And I had seen this film a couple times before. And when I watched it again for this rewatching, I kind of like loved it. I also listened to the audio commentary, which Angela Lansbury, who plays Sybil Vane, helped do the commentary for. And the character of Dorian Gray, played by Hurd Hatfield, I kind of loved his performance. It's so cold and icy and reserved, very opposite to the character in the novel, who's very flamboyant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the character in the novel is he's blonde, blue-eyed, and just like a flamboyant gay man. And this portrayal is completely the opposite of that, because he almost feels like he's soulless from the beginning, correct?
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of personality, or he almost seems to be a sponge. He just is like absorbing the people around him and being so easily influenced by the people around him.
Yeah, and the one thing about the film I don't really like or don't buy is the niece character played by Donna Reed, who comes back and falls in love with Dorian, and that character was added for the film.
Gladys,
that was added for the film.
Okay.
Because it's mainly the painter who is infatuated and in love with Dorian.
Oh, okay.
But they had to cut that out of the movie.
What was his name?
Basil? Basil, yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, so like a lot of like he goes off to like supposedly opium dens and all these types of things. Like, but they never really say what he's doing.
Also,
but
why were all of the women like afraid of him? Through narration later, when they're talking about his sins, they talk about how all of the women are afraid of him
because he has a reputation, but they never really say what it is.
Sodomizing? Like, what is his reputation?
It's based kind of like in the book. It's done through narration. Like Sir Cedric Hardwicke does the narration. He's kind of uncredited for doing it, to kind of see what he's been doing, but we never really know. It's kind of like what your mind thinks he's doing.
Because I thought he was just going to
sassies and stuff.
So that like weird little shack that he would spend a lot of time in, I thought was maybe like a prostitution place, and that he would go up the stairs to disappear. I thought maybe he was like going to a prostitute, or maybe like later I was like, well, what if it was male prostitutes, and then like, I don't know. It was very vague. And I was like, why is he so evil? I mean, he was like not a great guy, but when they reveal the painting later, after he's been alive the paintings existed for like 30 or 40 years at that point. He looked like he just had syphilis everywhere. It was just like,
and he's got blood on his hands.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
He murdered his.
But his mouth, it looked like it was just like so much syphilis around his lips and his mouth. He was just like full of warts, and
I think it's just to represent his moral decay.
Yeah,
basically. But okay, it's
crazy.
I rambled on too much.
Yeah, no. What was the actor who played Dorian again?
Hurd Hatfield.
Has he done much else, or had he done much else?
He, this was one of his very first roles, and he was kind of typecast. Angela Lansbury said she talked to him later because she was lifelong friends with him, kind of like Anthony Perkins was, where his career did not take off because of this one role, kind of tarnished people's image.
He said, there is a quote that he says, I was never a great beauty in gray, and I never understood why I got the part and have spent my career regretting it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an interesting presence, for sure. Even before he turns to the dark side, I'm still kind of like, I can't really tell what's going on in his face. Mm-hmm. But I got very Dracula vibes from him, for sure.
I like the way they shoot him. They do kind of like a lot of halo light sometimes. The way they would shoot maybe a female in 1920s, 30s movies, the kind of the way they shoot him.
Yeah, his face is very, there's not a lot of character to it,
Yeah, well, the director, and this is mentioned in the commentary, about the director was very strict about, I don't, like, barely move your lips when you talk. Just
there's
almost
like no lines.
Pale, yeah.
And does that Egyptian cat statue figure into the novel, or is that for the movie?
I think that is in the novel as well, though not as much of a presence.
Okay,
because it's in the movie, then it's in the painting as well. It's like it's
right,
and then it's in his house.
Yeah,
like he has it in his house.
Very heavily implied that that's what grants his wish.
Yeah, because George Sanders has one line where he mentions, I can't remember the name of the Egyptian god. Mm-hmm. That is like one of 718 Egyptian gods.
Bastet, maybe?
Yeah, that will grant, But of course, there's very, just like we were talking obsession about, be careful what you wish for. Right?
Yeah. I just find it interesting that like they still try to make a very kind of Christian morality tale out of it when it's apparently a world where Egyptian occultism is real.
Yeah.
So
I really liked it a lot.
Liked it, yeah,
for sure. We saw 3 movies with fucking amazing cinematography. I'll tell you that. But
it won the Oscar for best cinematography for black and white films the year it came out.
Yeah, it's gorgeously shot.
So Angela Lansbury was fucking gorgeous in that too. I had never seen her in such a young role before.
That was one of her first roles. That and Gaslight.
A bit of a Betty Davis quality almost.
Yeah, totally. I could see like where silent film actor, like she still had kind of a silent film actress like look to her, even though it was a 1940s film. And George Sanders, who plays Lord Henry, I loved his character so much. Like his dialogue, he was so fast with delivering the dialogue, and it was so funny and insightful. You know, in a diabolical way, because he was so hedonistic.
I mean, he's an asshole.
Yeah, and he obviously hated women, and had nothing good to say about them. That said, I loved his dialogue so much, and I loved his performance. So I started looking up other George Sanders movies to maybe watch. And that was when I discovered that in 1972, he committed suicide. So he left behind a suicide note saying, "Dear world, I am leaving because I am bored. I have lived long enough. I am leaving you and your worries in this sweet cesspool. Good luck."
Yeah. Damn. That was shortly after he made Psychomania.
Oh.
Because he's in Psychomania.
I did not know that.
And he's in one of my favorite 60s horror movies, Village of the Damned.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I saw that.
He is a great character, and a lot of that dialogue is lifted from the novel.
Okay. I might have to read the novel, because I was just like, oh shit, I love how this is written.
Yeah.
But I didn't love the movie. Honestly, it was a little too fucking long. And I don't know. It's just like all of the men were just horrible men, you know? So you're just watching all of these guys, except for,
Not Basil.
Yeah. He was good.
He has a conscience.
He was a good man. And that, I don't remember who he was, but at the dinner, that big guy who, stayed for the hens.
He was in like the Parliament or something like that.
Yeah. He was like very offended by Lord Henry, which was practically the only person who was. Even some of the women were just like, "Oh, he's so funny."
Yeah,
even as he was like insulting them to their face.
Yeah, they just didn't really take him seriously.
Okay.
I don't think they kind of said like, "Oh, he's just rambling on one of his rants again or whatever."
Right.
But he's a lord, so he must have some important job.
Sure, a job.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody has any jobs in that movie, right?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I realized when I was watching Knife and Heart that our first triple feature that we did, you picked a really old, long movie. So
Baby Jane.
The Baby Jane movie was like 2 hours long.
I picked a giallo.
And then you picked another foreign language giallo, Willie. And and then I picked another like kind of surface level.
Well, it's funny, when we did this, I was thinking like, oh, I can't pick another old black and white movie. Heather's going to kill me. But then I'm like, I don't want to pick Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's just too obvious.
That would have been fun.
You know?
No, I mean, I love being, and I'm going to say forced, even though I don't mean forced. I love having to watch, a long black and white movie, because I do enjoy them a lot. I just don't watch them on my own time. So having it.
So it's like homework.
Yeah. I like the homework, of it. And the same with, a foreign language 2-hour movie. I do enjoy them, but I'm not going to like pick it by myself, so.
Well, I think like one thing with older movies, and by older movies, I mean anything from the 1970s backwards, pacing is a different issue back. I mean, modern audiences are trained because of what they used to say. Remember, MTV changed people's things, and then now it's TikTok or whatever. But movies are paced completely different now compared to back then. It's like, and now you have to have something happen like every 6 minutes or audiences get bored.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's you. I just think like that's...
It's not me,
But I do think like, okay, I admit that Dorian Gray is a little bit too long. And I think it's because of this forced character of the niece coming in there. It's like, this is like, it's like, because nobody gives a crap about her.
Yeah. Like, I did like her performance though. She was lovely.
Yeah.
Fine.
Sure. No, I mean, sure. Yeah. Not as good as Angela Lansbury.
No, I mean, that was...
character. And that song Angela Lansbury sings.
Okay. I take
over
issue
and over again.
Over and over again. I did take issue with the fucking Yellow Bird song. My God. I was just like, it was lovely to listen to it the first time. And then within the same 10 minutes, she sings it like twice more. And then you hear it again, like 3 or 4 more times. And I'm like, fucking
We get it.
goddamn, this goddamn bird. Let this bird out of its cage and move on.
I know it was a gimmick for the time, but I like the fact that every time you see the painting, it's in color. And then everything else is in black and white. I think it's kind of cool.
It is cool.
The movie really should have been called The Portrait of Dorian Gray. Why do they call it The Picture? I don't know. I guess it's a picture, but for some reason it seems like portrait would have been better.
Yeah.
It does seem like the more appropriate word.
Yeah.
But that was the name of the novel too, though, right?
Yeah, The Picture of Dorian Gray. And I know the word decadence is brought up kind of in the movie.
The word decadence?
Yeah, it's brought up a few times by characters.
Okay.
And I had read that decadence was a word that was kind of a code word for homosexuality, like back in Victorian times.
What did it mean?
That
isn't decadence just like
debauchery
fancy?
Or something like that?
No.
Yeah, but I heard
decadence.
Like it was one of the words that like there were code words.
Decadent dandy.
Like I also heard that because Oscar Wilde wrote the play what's the something with earnest.
The importance of being
earnest. And earnest is a word for a code word for being a gay man in Victorian times.
Wow. Need a whole new dictionary just to figure it out. Yeah. Well, that was fun. I like our triple features.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I will try to pick
you don't have to try.
A more suited
pick
film.
whatever you want to pick. This is supposed to be pick whatever we want to pick.
I mean, I really did.
I don't want like our opinions about
like, absolutely to
be like, oh my God, they're not going to like this. I'm not going to.
I'm not even opposed to like. I kind of liked that little like random element of you picking a movie that none of us had seen.
Yeah,
you know, like
with body cam.
Yeah.
I think one time we should all do that. Like we all just all 3 of us pick a movie.
I'm down.
Let's do that next
we
time.
haven't seen.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that next time.
Wait, if you pick a movie that that one of us seen, do you have to pick a different movie? Like none of us could have seen any of the movies.
Sure.
Okay. That could be fun. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that.
I will try very hard to pick a shorter movie next time.
Don't worry about it. I just giving shit because my attention span is that.
I understand.
You
millennials with your TikToks.
I'm not a millennial.
Methinks thou doth protest too
dare
much.
You? All right. Yeah, I think that's it for us tonight. Right?
I think so.
I think I'm spent.
Yeah.
I'll just tack on. This is still queer horror adjacent, but I caught the pilot of The Vampire Lestat last night, and it's violent, trashy fun. it's fun in a way that the Interview with the Vampire season was not fun.
Okay.
But this is going to be a blast.
Is it period piece or?
They've updated it.
Okay.
Yeah. And vampires are thriving in the Trump era, apparently.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've always been. It's in my queue to watch the Interview with the Vampire series, but I guess you don't like it.
Oh, so. I do. It's good. It's just it's not very sexy, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not sexy, but the vibe is a little bit more, just very toxic, domestic, abusey kind of relationship.
Do you have to watch that to watch the Lestat one? Are they connected in any way?
They are. I mean, like one is told from one half of that couple's point of view, and the other one is told from Lestat's. Mm-hmm. So they vary in tone.
Yeah,
have you not read the books?
It's Louis, right? Louis
really?
Louis the from that, and then Lestat's from.
I don't
because that's how the novels go.
Okay.
What? You don't like vampires?
They're okay.
Okay.
It's not my favorite subgenre. Like I've obviously watched a lot of vampire movies and such, but they are not my go-to. So I have not read the books or I mean I watched Interview with the Vampire, so I know the movie, but
So you're fine watching Vampire Lestat. That's
Okay.
That's the condensed version of that.
Okay. Yeah. Because I like trashy fun. That's like my middle name.
I mean, I do like my artsy trauma core, but I like trashy fun too.
What's it streaming
I
on?
loosen up sometimes.
What's it streaming on?
AMC Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, kids.
Yeah, I'm spent.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Indeed.
Give us a review, please, on one of the sites where we're at.
Yeah.
Wherever those are, you know it.
We like hearing from
Wherever
you.
you found us.
If you found us in the woods, in the dark.